Good day, Saline. This is Talk of the Town, Saline High School's official podcast. I'm Sarah Burgess, and today we are here with Teacher Jones. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do as a job here at Saline?
Yeah, definitely. So hi, thanks for having me. I'm Charlie Jones. I go by Teacher Jones, and I am the CTE Center technician for the SWWC.
Thank you so much for joining me today. We're very excited to have you on the podcast to start kind of a new segment of going into the careers and the different jobs that teachers at Saline have had to get to where they are now. So thank you so much. One of the questions that I had is, what is your current job? Or, what are the things that you do here at Saline?
It can vary a lot, actually. I just think of it, the best way to describe it is just like student support. So, that can really vary day by day because it's all depending on the needs of the students and the needs of the teachers. So, sometimes I'm just in the CTE Center providing a place for testing. I'm helping kids complete online assessments. But I can also be in the classrooms helping out teachers. I try to make myself available to anyone, and whatever they need, I'm happy to do it.
And so I imagine you enjoy helping a lot of people. Has that, been gratifying here? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, some of my, or I guess not some of, but one of my favorite parts of teaching and just working in schools in general is getting to know so many different people of different backgrounds and building that connection with people.
I know I myself would really like to have a job where I could help people, and especially students. It's a really important career, and yeah. So my next question here is, what education or experience did you have when getting this job?
So I've got an interesting list. It wasn't so straightforward because I actually got my degree in music education from Otterbein University in Central Ohio. So I started out when I was in college. I really wanted to be a band director. I was super into that. I was super involved in all the extracurriculars. I was president of the OCMEA chapter at my college. I had a really great student teaching experiences too. As well. So, once I did that, I kind of discovered, this actually isn't really what I want to do, the year after I graduated college, too. But because of my experiences in college and that student teaching experience, I knew, okay, I still definitely want to work, in schools or at least with kids in some capacity because, like I mentioned earlier, that connection piece is really, really important to me.
Right,
so.
Right.
After that, I had a couple years where I was just well, I got to figure out what I want to do now. So it was really interesting, but, my philosophy during that time was, if an opportunity comes past, just, take it. Even if I'm I don't know if I'm going to like this, might as well just try it. So
Right.
I worked as a woodwind tech for a marching band for a couple years, but I also did long-term substitute jobs. So, I did 5th grade math and science. And it was fun because, I love the kids and I love going in there. But there are some days where I'm am I going to have to teach ratios? Are you for real? I don't know about ratios. But, I made it work. I had fun. And then that kind of led to me getting to work as, a long-term sub for a parapro at an elementary school. And I loved that so much. I had so much stinking fun all the time. And so that was when I was okay, I think this is kind of, where I want to go. I really love this. I really liked working in special education. And even before that long-term thing, I liked subbing for intervention specialists the best because I just loved the small group. And I don't know, I just clicked with those kids so well. So I was a parapro for a year, and then after that, I got involved with a summer program that was run through a nonprofit that was, it was called Career Exploration, and it was for high school age kids disabled high school age kids to kind of learn job skills and figure out like what they want to do with their lives. So that was a lot of fun too. Go ahead.
So do you think that led to like this specific kind of job that you're in now, like that summer
Career exploration. Yeah. So I did the summer. I did the summer program, and then I ended up working for that company full time. And then after the full time, which was, I mean, the difference is that I worked with disabled adults as well as kids. And then I found this job that was just like student support. So I was like, yeah, definitely want to do it. So
have you found that like this has been like a really good fit for you so far, this job?
I really do think so, because I feel like I get along with everybody so well. I like the flexibility that comes with this. And, I mean, of course, I have had a great experience with the students as well.
Right. So you mentioned that you specifically didn't want to teach music, and that you really found, like, a connection with students. So was there any, like, specific moment where you were like, I think teaching kids instead of teaching music was something that you wanted to do?
I think as far as teaching goes, I don't know if there was ever any like big light bulb moment necessarily. It was just more like I kept being reaffirmed over and over again with small experiences. It doesn't even have to necessarily be a classroom setting, but just any time you get to make a connection with somebody and, you know, help support them in learning something, it's just like so gratifying. So I think I never really doubted the teaching part of it.
Wow. You have, I just was realizing throughout, like, hearing your career story is, like, you go through a lot of different changes, and that's kind of what this segment is about.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, definitely.
It's been really cool. So the next question I have is, what does your average work day look like in this job?
So for this job, kind of like I've alluded to, it can be pretty varied, just depending on what the need is. But recently it's been a little more consistent. I know day-to-day responsibilities I have are I'm in charge of the attendance for the SWWC, so I'm always going through, updating attendance, checking, everything's marked right. If there's a kid that's, missed a whole week and I'm like, I haven't heard, I'll try to figure out what's going on there. So that's something I do every day. I've also been in classrooms, just kind of helping give support to the teachers. I like to greet the kids off the bus in the mornings. It wakes me up. I'm not a morning person, but being out in the cold kind of like shocks me into it.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, at the end of the day, I try to see if I can visit some CTE classes and just see what's going on.
Great. Well, I've definitely seen you in my 5th hour this class quite a bit, and it's always been nice to see you around. So
well, thank you.
Yes. I think we kind of discussed like more notable jobs that you have had already, but has there been like one that stood out the most, or like the first job that you've ever had?
Yeah, definitely. So I touched on a couple of the jobs I had. One job I had I haven't talked about, but I just loved it, was I was actually an instrument repair technician for a little bit. Oh, that was so much fun. So what I did was I just worked in the back of a music shop, and I just serviced different instruments for kids of all ages. I mean, sometimes, you have a clunker come in, you look at it, it's like full of cheese, and you're like, when's the last time you cleaned your instrument? And they're, yesterday. Okay. Stick that in the acid bath. But and then you'll have someone come in and be like, yeah, can you just redo my $5,000 saxophone? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fine, that's fine. But I don't know, I just really like tinkering with things, and I really like figuring out just how stuff works. It's a lot of work, but it comes out and you're just like, I did it. It's super fun.
Finished product. I know,
Yeah.
like, this is a bit off topic, but I know, like, it's basically the same way when editing a video. Like, you have all of the pieces just everywhere, and then you get to bring them together. And it's, I don't know, I think it's very nice. But
it's satisfying to have something just, like, really polished at the end.
Like, the finished product is, like, really good. I don't know.
No, I definitely, I feel that. Because it's all the details when you're like a specialist in something like that. Like you can recognize that. And then it's nice too when, whether it's another musician or somebody else who's, in video production, they can notice those things too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I like how you did that. Or you worked with this thing differently. Yeah. It's very nice.
I definitely am not where I expected to be when I was 18. Like if I could travel back in time and tell my 18-year-old self this, they'd probably be like, are you kidding me? I worked so hard to be a band director and this, now that I'm here, I appreciate it and I'm glad I did this because I think if I tried to force myself to do something that I didn't really want to do, I wouldn't, be as happy. But I think I'm just really interested in like disability rights advocacy and just working with the disabled population in general. It just, I don't know, it just speaks to me a lot and really means a lot to me. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been Talk of the Town, Saline High School's official podcast. So that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to watch more episodes, you can go to the Saline Video Spotify and the Saline Video channel. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.